Aw, squish. Welcome back to the channel, and on today's episode we're going to be doing front brakes on my wife's 2018 Mazda 3 hatchback. Here are EBC brake pads and rotors. Make sure you know the area that your vehicle was built in because they are very specific. Go ahead and get that front wheel removed. Since this vehicle has aftermarket rims, I have hub centrics. Remove the brake line clip and brake line. Loosen both brake caliper bolts and remove the bottom one. With a zip tie handy, remove the upper caliper bolt, then slip a zip tie through the upper caliper bolt hole and affix it to the hard brake line. With the brake caliper out of the way, we are now able to get the brake pads out of the brake caliper bracket. Sometimes you need to use a screwdriver to get them out. Also, make sure you inspect the brake pads for excessive wear or uneven wear. Remove the brake caliper bracket from the knuckle. There is no need to hammer the disc off of the spindle. Simply install a bolt onto the front of the disc and tighten it down until it presses itself from the spindle. I like to use penetrating oil, spray it all over the spindle, and give it a good cleaning before reinstalling the new disc. Then using a brake parts cleaner to clean off all the excess penetrating oil. I then grab a hold of a Scotch-Brite whip disc and I clean off the mating surface for the brake caliper bracket. Using a shop rag, I clean off all the excess dust and clean out the bolt holes for the brake caliper bracket. Now to inspect the brake caliper bracket, the slider pins were excessively worn on mine. I actually had gotten water into the boots because one of the boots was torn and it seized up one of my slider pins. After cleaning out the brake caliper bracket holes, I was then able to re-grease it with synthetic brake grease, install new boots and slider pins. Inspect the new slider pins that they are the correct length and install the new isolator onto the lower shorter bolt. Apply a thin amount of grease to the slider pins, and when installing the slider pin into the bracket, I made sure to work that isolator into it at the same time, inspecting it through the boot and then finally pulling the boot up into place. The fear being, of course, the isolator sliding further up on the pin. After greasing the longer pin, it is then time to grease the mating surface for the hardware. I like to just put a thin layer on the bracket itself, and then I put the hardware on top, and then I grease the hardware surface where it mates with the brakes. So I do not grease the bottom side. On some hardware kits, there is actually a material that you are not supposed to put grease on. You are just supposed to have a very clean bracket. And the way that I get this done is I actually take it to the sandblaster and I sandblast it once I have taped the holes shut for the slider pins. Afterwards, I spray it down with brake parts cleaner until it's very clean and then air chuck it off. EBC does provide videos online of how to install their brake parts. I did not decide to go that route. Instead, I just went the route of I've done this too many damn times, and I went ahead and applied some brake grease to the back of the brackets or the shims that they provide. I spread it around until it's a very thin layer. Of course, what I'm worried about is water getting in behind it and creating rust or any unwanted noise. As you can see on the floor, I have the old brake pads so I know where to put the wear indicators. Again, if you'd like to check out EBC's website and their videos, I imagine they make some really good stuff. I just had to do this on my wife's car anyways, so as always, this is not a how to do, but a how I did. Now on to the rotors. I use a clean shop rag and brake parts cleaner. Also, this is a very good time to inspect them and make sure they don't have any casting issues. Once they're all cleaned up, it is finally time to install them onto the car. I take a lug nut and tighten it down until it fully presses the rotor into place. Sometimes I have to use washers on the backside of the lug nut. What I want is for the disc to be pressed firmly against the spindle. Now I install the 2 bolts onto the backside of the bracket and then install the brake pads into the bracket. They are a little bit tricky having to put them in at an angle, but once they get clipped in, they're seated. Even though this vehicle only has 30,000 miles on it, I also had a slider pin seize up on the other side, so I decided to pull the boot back from the piston on the caliper and make sure there is not brake fluid in there before cleaning the brake caliper itself. Also cleaning inside the piston and cleaning the boot really good to make sure there's no dust and debris that could potentially damage it later on down the road. After I get it completely clean, I like to hit it with a little bit of air. Also helps break free any sand, and then afterwards I use a homemade brake compressor. This is just using an old brake pad and a C-clamp that fits around it. I make sure that I am not tightening down on anything that could potentially get damaged. I then grab a pair of angle cutters and cut the zip tie that was holding the brake caliper in place and then get it positioned onto the bracket. I install the bolts by hand and then I torque them down with a wrench, checking the brake caliper bracket as well. Then I am able to position the brake hose and get the clip put back in, give it a good whack with a hammer and it will be seated. Using a clean shop rag and brake parts cleaner, I then wipe down the rotor, making sure to remove the lug nut that I installed earlier to hold the rotor in place. Cleaning off the hub centric ring and then reinstalling it. And then finally being able to install the wheel. Installing the lug nuts by hand at first and then hitting them with an impact, finally torquing them down with a torque wrench.
I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Make sure you hit me up in the comments. We'll see y'all next time.